I've been sitting on this video for days, not because I didn't have enough to say, because I wanted to say it right. David Wilcock died on April 20th, 2026. He was 53. He called 911 himself that morning. He told dispatch he needed to leave. He talked about money problems. He talked about health problems. He refused to say whether he was armed. His last words to the dispatcher were, "I'm sorry to put you through this." Then he hung up. Deputies arrived minutes later and found him outside his home with a gun to his head. Despite repeated commands to drop the weapon, he didn't. The official cause of death, self-inflicted gunshot wound, witnessed by law enforcement, no other individuals present. No evidence of external involvement found. Now, every YouTube channel covering this story is saying the same thing. Murder, cover-up, government silencing. Strange but Fine is going to do something different. We're going to ask the questions nobody is asking, because they're too busy making a story that fits. I followed David Wilcock for years. Early Wilcock, the ancient civilizations research, the consciousness work, the connections between science and mysticism, was genuinely compelling. He was rigorous. He made you think. Then something shifted. Gradually, then all at once, and I stopped watching. Now I've gone back through everything. And what I found is not a clean story. It's not a murder mystery. And it's not a simple tragedy either. It's something more complicated and more important. Who was David Wilcock, really? He studied psychology at SUNY New Paltz. He worked briefly at a psychiatric hospital. He discovered the Law of One books. He moved to Virginia Beach. A spiritual community told him he was the reincarnation of Edgar Cayce, the famous sleeping prophet. He didn't reject that idea. He accepted it, built an entire identity around it. 2 New York Times bestsellers followed. Over 100 episodes of Ancient Aliens. 500,000 YouTube subscribers. A community of people who genuinely loved him and believed in what he was building. But here's what his own family confirmed after his death. He suffered a long period of depression. He was drowning in financial debt. And in 2024, on his own live stream, he said this: "I've been extremely unhappy, extremely depressed. My life basically just sucks. I don't even really like this anymore." I want you to hold that, because we're going to come back to it. 2015. Corey Goode arrives. This is where I want to be careful, because there are serious allegations against Corey Goode, and I'm going to present them as exactly that. Allegations, not verdicts. Goode appeared on Gaia TV in 2015, claiming he was recruited into a secret space program at age 6. He said he spent 20 years in space on a contract called 20 and Back. He said he met bird-like alien beings called blue avians. He and Wilcock became co-hosts on Cosmic Disclosure. Now, here is what Corey Goode said under oath. In a legal deposition for the U.S. District Court of Colorado, September 26, 2022.
Yes, I did make up stories about the secret space program extrapolated off of my experiences that I told you about earlier.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. So you stated in one place that you've done 3 of these 20s and backs. That's an extrapolation, that's not reality.
Okay. If y'all took about 10 minutes to read this, you will see it talks about Corey Goode, the real person, and Corey Goode, the persona that this stuff is based off of.
He also filed trademarks on Blue Avians, Secret Space Program, and 20 and Back. Critics point out, if these things are real, why would you trademark them? He tried to strike every copy of this deposition off YouTube. A federal judge ruled it public record in 2023. You can decide why. Weidner produced 2 of David Wilcock's shows at Gaia. He worked with him for over 4 years. After Wilcock's death, he wrote, "We were like brothers until he met Corey Goode. Corey's lies ripped David's hold on reality." He also wrote, "From David's letter, my health has collapsed from poverty, starvation, and disease. I have also now almost completely run out of money." He died because he was broke. He was broke because Corey Goode manipulated him into quitting his lucrative position at Gaia. And separately, I spent over $65,000 to defend myself from Corey Goode's stalking. I would never have been sued by Corey Goode if I wasn't an employee at Gaia. According to the podcast Hidden in Plain Sight, Wilcock stated on camera that Goode was behind many of his problems. And yet, after Wilcock's death, Goode posted a tearful tribute video calling him my good friend. I'm not here to convict Corey Goode of anything. I don't know what's in his heart. But I am asking, what happens to a person's grip on reality when their most significant professional relationship is built on something they can never verify? 2018, the Gaia collapse. Wilcock quit Gaia in July 2018. A resignation letter circulated online almost immediately. In it, he claimed Gaia was promoting Luciferian content. He called Graham Hancock, a respected researcher he had warmly praised just 3 years earlier, a closet Luciferian. Hancock responded publicly. The disclosure community was confused. Wilcock looked unstable. Months later, Wilcock issued a formal public apology to Gaia. He said the letter had been misunderstood. He said a coordinated outside force had orchestrated the entire situation, a divide-and-conquer operation designed to destroy relationships and credibility. Here's what Gaia alleged in their countersuit: that Goode had helped write and leak Wilcock's resignation letter, posing as a group of disgruntled employees to damage Gaia executives. So whose letter was it really? Who leaked it? And who benefited from Wilcock looking paranoid and unstable? We don't know, but the question matters. What came next? Between 2018 and his death, Wilcock faced all of this simultaneously. A years-long legal battle with Gaia, a divorce in 2021 ending a 4-year marriage, relentless cyberstalking, annual death threats, mounting financial debt, and his own words on camera in 2024, "I don't even really like this anymore." This is not a man who was thriving. This is a man who was being ground down by external forces, by personal loss, and possibly by his own choices. And then there's Stavatti Aerospace. In 2019, right in the middle of all of this, Wilcock joined a company called Stavatti Aerospace as Director of Advanced Technology. Here's what we know about Stavatti. It was founded in 1994. In over 26 years of existence, it has not produced a single aircraft. Vice magazine called it the industrial equivalent of an internet troll. An investor sued for racketeering and fraud in 2023. The company was evicted from its Niagara Falls facility in 2024. Why did Wilcock join? By his own account, his grandfather appeared to him in a dream and told him to. He was drawn in by promises of hover cars, levitation technology, free energy, and biosphere restoration. Now, I'm not going to tell you Stavatti is a front for anything. I have no evidence of that. But I am going to ask, a man who spent decades researching suppressed technology joins a company that has spent 26 years producing nothing but promises, at the lowest point of his life, after a dream. Was he deceived? Was he desperate? Was he looking for something real to believe in, after years of things turning out not to be what they seemed? Strange but Fine doesn't know. But we notice. The final week. On April 18th, he posted on X, "I've had some very intense stuff going on this weekend. Either way, I want you all to know how much I love and appreciate you. April 19th, his final live stream. 3.5 hours. I watched it. Yes, he talked about missing scientists, but he also talked about his health, his pain, his financial struggles. He asked his community for support. The next morning, he was gone. This was not a man delivering a final warning. This was a man who was not okay. Now, here's what Strange But Fine actually thinks. Everyone covering this story has a narrative. The conspiracy community says, murdered by the government, silenced for what he knew. The skeptic community says, a troubled man with a long history of mental illness. Strange But Fine says, both of these framings are too simple. Here's what we know for certain. The 911 call exists. Deputies witnessed his death. No evidence of external involvement was found. His family confirmed long-term depression and overwhelming financial debt. And here's what else we know. A man who genuinely feared for his life doesn't call 911 and apologize to the dispatcher. That's not the behavior of someone expecting to be killed. That's the behavior of someone who is exhausted, ashamed, and done. But here's the question that stays with me. How did one of the most prominent voices in the disclosure movement end up completely alone, financially destroyed, legally entangled, and unable to trust anyone around him? Whether that happened because of what he knew or because of who he chose to believe, the result is the same. The disclosure field lost another voice. And the chaos that surrounds his death, the conspiracy theories, the murder accusations, the Twitter wars, makes sure that the real questions never get answered. Because here's the pattern. Every time a serious question gets close to something real, it gets buried under noise. Sometimes that noise is deliberate. Sometimes it's just us, the audience, doing it to ourselves. David Wilcock spent his whole life asking what was being hidden. Strange But Fine just asks, did he ever find it?